Good morning, everybody. This is Matthias Chang once again from Future Fast Forward. Today, I want to share with you my analysis of various issues and events that took place last week, which have created some confusion to some people as a result of the propaganda onslaught by the Prime Minister, UMNO and BN in Parliament. Before going to the meat and the substance of those issues, may I seek your indulgence that I address my Chinese brethren and sisters in Cantonese so that they too will have a better understanding of the issues. Thank you for your indulgence. 兄弟姊妹，今日我希望你哋會明白，做咩我哋國家呢仆街晒、破產晒、亂晒。呢個咧問題啊，好 important，因為咧我哋國家係仆街、破產晒，係因為成班個契弟、爛仔啊、先客啊，偷咗好多鐳，偷咗美金70億，所以我哋國家今日咧仆街晒。呢啲成班個契弟啊，食到啊骨都冇啊！你話聞嗰屁呢啲屁都聞唔到，食到骨都冇。所以咧，我哋國家而家咧 is in a crisis。政府首相要諗計仔嚟解決個問題，呢個問題可以解決。所以咧，上個禮拜咧喺Parliament咧，佢哋搞出一個問題，回教嘅問題、Hudud問題，嚟嚇你哋，話咧好似咧Abbas咧做出嚟個Hudud，成個國家會亂，要跟回教，講大話唔啱嘅，呢啲係做把戲。呢三個馬騮精，特督了MCA 講喎，好似政府咧好似政府pass 呢個回教嘢Hudud law咧，佢哋會退燒，講大話，因為呢個問題冇理由嘅，Parliament會接受，呢啲係做把戲。你 confuse 你哋 ，OK？ 你嚇你哋 ，OK？ 嗱，我哋同人會觀咧，要諗清楚好嚟。呢個問題回教問題唔關你事，我哋自己深仇。佢哋有鬼打鬼係佢哋事 ，OK？ 唔使理，唔使驚，因為你冇犯罪，你驚乜嘢？而家喺馬來西亞照攞行啦你燒白粉我賣白粉捉到咧你都吊頸死做咩冇人驚？做你唔會反對？哇咁heavy個 punishment 要頸死，我哋唔驚嘛，因為咧你冇燒鴉片嘛，你冇燒白粉食白粉嘛。你冇賣白粉嘛？你驚乜嘢？同樣啦，呢啲Hudud係咪唔關你事？係回教嘅問題。好似係回教你驚乜嘢？你有冇偷嘢？你收唔到俾人斬嘛？啱唔啱？所以呢個問題係 confuse 你嘅，整啲圖亂。最緊要咧係 1MDB 瞓晒呢班契弟 ，OK？食咗我哋女，唔認罪而家雪生都講啦，有證據咗啦，話你食咗好多女呢啲咧一定要坐監，新加坡都拉咗佢哋啦。做咩今日咧？政府唔認罪，因為蘇拜呢啲契弟食咗女，養佢哋養到肥肥嘟嘟， OK 唔得，要停。我哋咧台人會公講㗎，要講係咪？Never again， 唔可以，冇可能。所以要拉啲成班契弟咧，要拉，要坐監。OK， 所以我希望啊，好似你唔明白咧，因為我講法未幾正，你明白冇相干。一陣間我會講英文，咁咧我希望你會問你嘅仔、你嘅女咧嚟解釋多啲俾你啦嚇。OK， 有咩事咧你可以打電話俾我01231121112，我就會我揾機會嚟解釋俾你聽啦。OK，thank you very much. Fellow Malaysians, I thank you for the indulgence in allowing me to speak a few words of Cantonese to my Chinese brethren and sisters. You will recall in my previous speech or address to you some time back why PAC on the 7th of April, on the last day of the Parliament session in April, 7th April, submitted their basic report. But there was no debate, and the chairman disappeared on the excuse that he was sick. And I told you that the submission of the basic report is not a coincidence. It was to prevent the public, the whole country, from focusing on the criminal report by the Swiss authorities, FEMA, that they have found one MDB guilty of money laundering and corruption. So if the PC report was not submitted on the 7th of April, the whole country will focus on the report by the Swiss authorities. Likewise, recently, last week, the 25th of May, the Swiss authority released a statement making very specific findings of the guilt of all those who are managing 1MDB. And in no uncertain terms say that there is corruption, money laundering committed by 1MDB and its officials and officers of the company. And Singapore has arrested and will prosecute 6 bank officials of BSI Bank, and have also took one step further to withdraw the license, the banking license of BSI Bank, because the officials of BSI Bank were complicit and conspired with 1MDB officials and the chief accomplice Jolo in siphoning monies from 1MDB to the private accounts. And there was irrefutable evidence that 1 billion of monies went from 1MDB, sloshed around the world to various accounts and end up with the account of Good Star Limited, controlled and owned by Jolo. But all this while, the Prime Minister and the CEO of 1MDB has denied that any money from 1MDB went to the personal accounts of Jolo or the Prime Minister. This is a lie which they can't refute, and that's why they have to divert your attention and say that there's a bigger threat, the threat of PAS introducing a Hudud bill in Parliament, and as a result of which there was all this Wayang Kulit theatrics of MC leader, Gerakan leaders saying that they will resign from the cabinet if the bill is passed in Parliament. Now, just pause for a while. What I say is a filthy lie, or propaganda, or thunder with no rain. Simple. Alright? In the history of Malaysian Parliament, the government has never allowed a private member's bill. Okay? But lo and behold, on the 25th of May, the lawyer Buruk Azalina allowed this private member's bill to leapfrog over more urgent government bills. And Hadi played his role, all right, and read his motion before Parliament. As if on that day, the bill will be passed. But in fact, he said, look, the matter will be adjourned to October sitting of Parliament, October. So therefore, nothing could have happened. Nothing could have been approved or debated on the 25th of May. Hadi adjourned it. So, can this be a coincidence? You think Azalina would have the authority on her own to leapfrog this Hadi passed bill on Hudud over 14 other government bills without the consent and authorization of the Prime Minister and MKT of UMNO? No way! They know that the evidence has come out in the Swiss report is so devastating. It destroyed everything. The whole fairy tales about donations, about money's not coming back to the PM's account, or that Jolo has received monies, has collapsed like a house of cards. Collapsed. Our country is broken into pieces because of this scandal. So for heaven's sake, do not be diverted from this issue. 1MDB, that the government is a criminal enterprise. 1MDB is a criminal enterprise, that all these leaders, scumbags, criminals, gangster police must be hauled up before the court and answer for their crimes. Okay? This is very important. Do not be distracted. And even though this is initiative from the Barisan Nasional, I have no hesitation in criticizing some of the leaders of the opposition. They know very well it's a diversion tactic, yet they play up the so-called threat of Hudud law put by pass. Why? Because some of these leaders in the opposition wants to portray to you they are champion for the non-Muslims and exaggerate the threat of Hudud law. Alright? This shows they're also bankrupt. This criticism may come as a surprise to you, because I'm saying that we should throw the leaders of BN out. Therefore, it follows that I should be supportive of the opposition leaders. Only if they are telling the truth, they would not and will not in the future take part in the scam, this Wayang Kulit. And if they don't expose the truth that this Wayang Kulit in Parliament is a diversion of the truth and derail our efforts, alright, to expose the criminal enterprise of 1MDB and the entire leadership of the Barisan Nasional, then let me say to you, do not trust any of them. And so as PAS is concerned, I would thank the leaders of UMNO and their propaganda masters. Thank you for this propaganda ploy. You know why? Because it's not easy to expose PAS as being traitors to the Rakyat. To expose PAS as not genuine defenders of Islam. You know why? Because they're using Islam to further their political agenda. It was Wayang Kulit. If Hadi has no intention to proceed with a motion for the Hudud or for the amendments of Sharia law in Kelantan, alright, then why a big hoo-ha? He adjourned to October. And everybody start banging noise, or making the drums, making noise, all thunder no rain. Now I hope all of you will know that this is an attempt by UMNO and PAS, okay, on one hand, to boost their Islamic credentials, on the other hand, to try to boost the stature of the MC leaders, the Gerakan leaders, and other non-Muslim leaders, that they are the defender of the non-Muslims. We do not need defenders, right, of such kind, because they are all hollow hypocrites. We have no fear of Islam. We have no fear of Hudud, because if you're not a criminal, you should not worry about the penalties or punishment, whether it be under the common law or under the Sharia law. Okay? Alright? So all this is a diversion, a red herring. And by this propaganda ploy, I believe it's backfired on the propaganda chiefs, these foreigners advising Najib and MKT, UMNO MKT, Supreme Council. Without this ploy, I think, I hope you agree, that you wouldn't be able to see clearly the nakedness, the evil, the bankruptcy intellectually, spiritually, psychologically, emotionally of all these leaders, both past and UMNO. Let's move on, okay? Because I need to tell you, alright, what actually happened in Parliament before this fiasco. The MP 20 power of DAP has exposed in Parliament that the chairman of PAC deleted criminal documents from the PAC report. One of which was a document, a letter from Bank Negara saying that Good Star Limited is owned by Jolo. Contrary to the assertions by Petro Saudi that Good Star is their company, is their subsidiary. And the authorities in Seychelles have, through another organization, the corporation that register all companies in Seychelles, have said categorically that Good Star Limited is owned by Jolo. And guess what? Hassan Arifin, chairman of PAC, says, well, we can't accept this letter from Bank Negara because the information is intelligence grade. I repeat, he says, the information is intelligence grade, therefore we can't act upon it. This idiot, this scumbag is a freaking liar and intelligent bankrupt on two grounds. One, all police officers, special branch, intelligence, their job is to get intelligence of crimes, of sabotage, of foreign agents, alright? And with this intelligence, they will apprehend the criminals, the foreign intelligence, and bring them to court. It's from intelligence that we get information and evidence to facilitate further investigation. So when this idiot scumbag Hassan Arifan said he received intelligence from Bank Negara, what he should do is to call up Jolo and answer to PAC. Call up the CEO of 1MDB, Arukanda, Sharol, and all those people. Alright? Yes, PAC is not intelligence agency. It's the investigative arm of Parliament. So with this information, you investigate further. Otherwise, why have you interviewed former CEOs and present CEOs and other officials, including the Secretary General of the Treasury, to give evidence before you? Alright? To get evidence in it. To get to the bottom of the case, right? And what's the best kind of evidence to help you? It's intelligence, isn't it? Critical intelligence. So this scumbag, Hassan Arifin, has no shame. You know, he lied to his teeth. He's lied. And now everything is official secrets. How can it be official secret anymore when the Swiss authority has already said that they have committed crimes, okay? Committed crimes. Now, I said earlier, Singapore has shut down BSI Bank and have charged and going to prosecute 6 other people. Now, just in case some of you may think that what has been published by the Wall Street Journal may not be the truth, has no basis, because some of the leaders of UMNO says, right, show me the source. The one enemy has committed crimes. Show me the source. Oh my God, are they blind? Are they stupid? They're not blind or stupid, right? They pretend to be stupid. They pretend to be blind because the source has been public. Can you see this? This is a press release from FEMA, the Swiss authorities that supervise all Swiss banks. Okay? Dated 24th of May 2016. One day before the Wayang Kulit, or the 3 monkeys, hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. Datuk Leong Tong Lai, Ma Siu Chong, and Tan Joseph Kurup. All about how Hudud is the main problem. You know why? This is the bombshell. This is the nuclear weapon against the Barisan Nasional. And they know in the coming by-election, alright, they want you to be diverted to this red herring. Let me read to you now, okay? Let me read to you the key findings of the Swiss authorities, so they have no shadow of doubt, no doubt at all. What is the crisis that's facing Malaysia? What are the issues we must focus on, and never ever sorry, to be diverted by red herrings and Wayang Kulit. Let me read to you. Quote, in the case of 1MDB, the bank executed numerous large transactions with unclear purpose over a period of several years, and despite clearly suspicious indications, did not clarify the background of these transactions. 1MDB statement. 2. FEMA launched enforcement proceedings against BSI in 2015 after indications that the bank had breached money laundering regulations. The problems related to business relationships and transactions in the context of the corruption scandal involving the Malaysian Sovereign Wealth Fund 1MDB. FEMA investigated a large number of transactions as well as the internal processes and organizational control functions at the bank, BSI Bank. The proceedings were concluded in May 2016. Now the key words, the title, 1MDB, deliberate management decision, meaning there's a finding that the management, with the knowledge of the Prime Minister, make certain decisions and took certain actions which were criminal. Okay, this is a subtitle. Okay, let me read to you. In the context of 1MDB, misconduct on the part of BSI was particularly serious. On numerous occasions, business relationships related to 1MDB were discussed at top management level. This was a particular case when at the end of 2013, FEMA highlighted to the bank the many serious risks inherent in the client relationships and pressed the bank for further clarification. Nevertheless, the bank's board of directors and executive board knowingly and repeatedly expressed the intention to continue with this financially lucrative client relationships without adequately clarifying the numerous clear risk indicators or controlling risks. In simple English, my dear friends, what FEMA is saying that BSI Bank at the highest level was complicit and were accomplice with 1 MDB in money laundering. Okay? This is the essence of the paragraph. Alright? If you don't believe me, okay, Google and download this press statement and ask any lawyer. Okay? Now he goes on to say this. It's a bit long, but I need to read to you. Right? So that you can listen to this tape over and over again. And if anybody asks you, where's the evidence? Like Zaid Hamidi, Deputy Prime Minister, where's the source? Play the tape to him or to your friends. Alright? What I'm going to read out to you. Clear-cut evidence. In the context of 1MDB, the bank, BSI Bank, had business relationships with a range of funds whose accounts were booked in both Singapore and Switzerland. The fact that this was BSI's largest and most profitable client group was reflected in the remuneration paid to the bank employees involved. So 1MDB was BSI's largest and most profitable client group. Okay? And the employees were paid a lot of money. The fees charged by the bank were above average and out of line with normal market rates. Senior management at the bank did not question why the sovereign wealth fund should use a private bank to provide institutional services and pay excessive out of market fees for doing so. Kickbacks, okay? 1MDB gives kickbacks to bank officials. In the context of 1MDB's case, the bank failed to adequately monitor relationships with the client group with around 100 accounts at the bank. Transactions were executed within the client group and with third parties without the bank adequately clarifying their commercial justification. Can you imagine that? Okay. In one case involving a deposit of $20 million, for example, the bank was happy to accept the client's explanation that the funds were involved were a gift. In another case, an account was credited with more than $98 million without any effort to clarify its commercial background. Why the bank didn't check? Because they received kickback. Okay? The bank executed transactions involving similar accounts, even though in some cases the explanations and contractual documents were obtained that contradicted the purpose of the account as stated when it was opened. Can you imagine? 1MDB makes transactions, and when the bank asks what's the purpose, they give documents. But the documents did not jive with the explanation. In fact, contradicted the explanation. Transactions were often generally justified on the basis of loan agreements, although the agreements provided no sufficient explanation of the real background to the transaction in question. That means, they say, loan agreements was fictitious, was a means to hide the money laundering, okay, to justify the remittance of money, okay. Finally, in many cases, there were clear indications of pass-through transactions. In one case, $20 million were routed through a variety of accounts within the bank on the same day before eventually being transferred to another bank. Transactions of this kind are often a clear indication of money laundering. Nevertheless, the bank failed to properly document or carry out plausibility checks on these transactions, or was happy to accept the explanation that the beneficial owner of all the accounts was the same person, or that the transactions were being executed for accounting purposes. The bank executed substantial transactions for the foreign sovereign wealth fund, in some cases involving hundreds of millions of US dollars, without adequately clarifying the background of them. So this is the specific finding of FEMA, of money laundering and corruption. So, do me a favor, all of you, citizens of Malaysia, go to your MPs and Hudud and tell them this is a source, and ask your MP, confront Zahid Hamidi, confront the members of MKT UMNO. What do you mean don't have the source? This is the bloody source, okay? Stop pussyfooting, scumbags, gangsters, politicians. We had enough of your nonsense. And there's also exposing that Tarek Obey, Patrick Mahoney, and worse still, the lawyer engaged in doing all the transactions, one Timothy Buckland of the law firm called Wayang case in England, misrepresented about Petro Saudi, misrepresented about various assets owned by Petro Saudi, all right, and who is Good Star Limited, who controls Good Star, and guess what? This lawyer, after completing the transaction, resigned as a lawyer in Wayang case and joined the gangs of criminals. This is it. This is all evidence. Okay? It's beyond denial. Okay? So what we have here now, clear cut. We have emphatic finding from Swiss authorities, 1MDB is a criminal enterprise. The officials of 1MDB, with the knowledge of the Prime Minister and other people, in collusion with, in collaboration with the Arabs, the Mastale Patrick Mahoney, the rogue lawyer Tim Buckland, and the officials of BSI Bank, all right, laundered billions. And guess what? The Attorney General of the Auditor General of Malaysia, in his report, which is now classified as OSA under Official Secrets Act, said that $7 billion has gone missing. All right, has gone missing. But to today, the police, led by IGP Kulit, who says that there was investigation going on, led by DCP, like Mastura, has not interviewed Jolo or the former CEO of 1MDB. Why? Surely, with all this evidence of sister authorities from other countries, they would act a bit on it, isn't it? AG is keeping quiet. Alright? AG is keeping quiet. So what? But yet, they have the audacity to arrest me, charge me, and imprison me for attempting sabotage against the banking and financial institutions of Malaysia. What have I done? Nothing. Their action has destroyed the integrity of all the banks in Malaysia, Bank Negara, and other institutions. Right? But they are not criminals. They're not being arrested or charged or imprisoned. This is a double standard, okay? So, my fellow citizens, be very clear in your mind, okay? This is all the Wayang Kulit. And before I conclude, let me say, the two by-election, Kuala Kangsar and Sungai Besar, is irrelevant. It's a by-election. Whether UMNO wins or lose does not alter the power equation until and then the general election. So don't waste your time, okay, getting involved in the by-election. Let me advise to you, especially the non-Muslim citizens of this country, stay away. You know why? Because by staying away from this by-election, you will know for sure who are the real culprits. If there's a fight between PAS and UMNO, so be it. Let's see what other Wayang Kulit can come up with during the by-election. Alright? What other stories and red herrings will they throw out to confuse you? Because by their action during this by-election, you will know for sure how corrupt, how filthy, how dirty is their politics. Because these two by-elections will be dirty, will be filthy. So be it. Don't get involved. Stay out. And on the issue of Hudud, there are many genuine Muslims in this country who have taken a stand that the Hudud or Islam of Hadi can be challenged, whether it's a correct interpretation of Islam or the Hudud under Sharia law. Let the genuine Islamic scholars and leaders explain to us, not from the mouth of scumbag leaders, gangster politicians from UMNO or from PAS. Let the real ulamas and scholars, okay, clarify to us. Once again, with that, may I appeal to you, all right? The issue is beyond the by-elections. Surrender yourself to the will of God. Have absolute faith that He will defend you, protect you, and guide you under all circumstances against all adversities and enemies. You know why? Because what is important is that we persist in exposing the crimes of the regime, of the Najib regime. Once that is exposed in clear terms, no propaganda ploy, no red herrings, no Wayang Kulit by these scumbags, MCA, Gerakan, or MIC, and all the other parties, right? Being part of the conspiracy to cover up the crimes of the Najib regime. They will not get away with it. They will not get away with it because truth will always prevail, justice will always prevail. But you must be very clear in your mind, okay? Don't be emotionally aroused or even be misled by some leaders of the opposition saying that the Hudud issue will destroy our country, will destroy our constitution. Our country is already destroyed, as I said to you many times before, it's already broken. Our constitution, the paper in which it's written, is already torn to pieces by the Najib regime. Nothing can destroy it more than what has been done. Okay? The country is broken. We are a shithole up to an eyeball in shit, bullshit, horseshit with a quagmire. And the only solution is throw them out, the scumbags, the criminals, the gangster politicians, all right, and focus on doing what's right, exposing the criminals, and never ever allow them to get away with it. Okay. So, before I conclude, let me repeat: the by-election is irrelevant. Okay. No matter what Najib says, even if UMNO wins, oh, that is the a mandate for them. The people approve them of his leadership. To hell with it. It's a by-election. Makes no difference. Okay? Because the general election may not even happen. Because he knows he will lose. But if it happens, then, until then, we will explain what strategy to use. We can't explain the strategy for the general elections because we tell them our plans, our strategy, they count us. So be patient, please. Be patient. We will win. We will prevail. After all these criminals are being indicted overseas, exposed overseas, then we have all the ammunition to go to the people and we then throw them out once and for all. Alright? So, finally, may I thank you once again for your attention. And I hope that some of you who are Chinese, if your parents can understand my Cantonese in my introductory remarks, I hope you will go back home and explain to your parents what I've explained in English in more detail. With that, thank you very much, and you can have a good day.